Your New Year's resolutions always fail because you're lazy, you lack discipline, and you'll never amount to anything. Okay, I'm just kidding. This isn't some David Goggins style of video trying to convince you that the way to your salvation is through suffering and endless hard work just for the point of working hard. Quite the opposite. I'm going to share with you my system for setting goals and chasing dreams in a way that reaps steady, consistent results, but not at the expense of enjoying the journey of life along the way, which is of course the most important thing. So let's rewind here. A few years ago, I set my best New Year's resolution ever: to complete 100 workouts in the next year. Fast forward to now, I work out every week on autopilot without a second thought. All of this B-reel in this video and in all of my videos are my real working sets. There's nothing sexy. It's not peak performance. It's just the daily grind that I actually do. It's just consistent effort with small but measurable progress on the weekly, carried out for years. A system that I'm still running with way more momentum than when I started, and which I believe that you can have too with just a few simple decisions. In this video, we will examine why many common fitness New Year's resolutions are doomed to fail before they even start, and how you can reframe and reconstruct such a resolution to make success inevitable. Finally, I'll share with you an entire beginner to intermediate weightlifting program designed to do just that. Build a personal fitness habit that's so simple and easy to do that you'd feel stupid to skip a workout, and that over 100 folks have already downloaded and taken the plunge into building a fitness habit that lasts. So let's start again. Your New Year's resolutions always fail because they were out of your control in the first place and you didn't aim high enough. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's dig into both of these problems deeper by looking at 3 common resolutions in fitness that I'm not a fan of. Resolution number 1, I will run a marathon, or a 5K or a 10K, whatever your distance. Resolution number 2, I will lose 25 pounds. Resolution number 3, I will complete a 30-day yoga challenge or CrossFit, or whatever type of fitness is in vogue whenever you're watching this, wherever you are. So what's wrong with each of these? What do you notice about them that might make them hard to actually follow through with, or make the results of all that hard work not that motivating in the long term? Let me know in the comments what you think is wrong with these and how you can reformulate them to make them better. I'd love to hear your perspective on this, but for now, we'll hear mine. Problem number 1 is that these are resolutions which are out of your control. Running a marathon is out of your control. You might be overestimating your current level of fitness or your ability to respond to training. You might get injured or sick. The marathon itself might get canceled due to, say, a global pandemic or something like that, and then you'll have no motivation to train after that. Losing 25 pounds is out of your control. First of all, you might not have 25 pounds to lose. You might have a natural body weight set point that's a little bit higher than where your arbitrary goal is. Your diet and exercise methods might simply not work very well. And this should be obvious because most don't work, which is why so many people want to lose 25 pounds year after year after year. They say it's their goal or their resolution, but they never do it. Completing a 30-day challenge is a little bit better as it's technically in your control, meaning that if you just show up and do the work, you'll complete the challenge. But it's specifically designed to be challenging and basically leave zero room for inconsistency. In practice, I think it's quite hard to have 100% consistency for a long period of time, so one mistake will often cause people to quit entirely and just give up on the plan. And those who do finish the 30 days will have exhausted their motivation in order to complete that, and so often they completely stop the practice after the 30 days, and so that at the end of the year they have literally nothing to show for it. So making resolutions which are out of your control is a big problem, and this is why I like to distinguish between 2 concepts which I call goals and dreams. So if it's something I want, but it's out of my control, if other external factors like the weather, luck, the market, my future health, etc. could cause me to fail, I call it a dream. Dreams are absolutely worth chasing, but I'm not going to attach my self-worth to them, because there's always a chance that I do all of the hard work required and I still come up short. And I want to be proud of that effort because the effort is important, because ultimately that effort is all I've got. The work is all I can do. Dreams can be extremely motivating. They might represent massive changes in your lifestyle, in your appearance, or in your fitness. But I also always want my dreams to be long-term. And by that I mean that if I achieve the dream, I want it to last forever. I want to reap the results of that forever. So as a thought experiment here, let's revisit that 30-day yoga challenge. After 1 year, what is the difference between a person who completed the challenge, a person who failed at the challenge, and a person who never even attempted the challenge in the first place? The majority of the time, at least amongst the people I know and what I hear in the discourse online, the difference between these groups of people is absolutely fucking nothing. And here's why. The common outcome is that people try really hard for that 1 month, but they fail to develop a robust, sustainable habit. So they see short-term gains. They feel more flexible and light, but also a bit stressed and tired from the sudden sprint of effort that they're suddenly doing. And then after the event is over, the accountability mechanism of having a 30-day challenge with a group of people or whatever, that accountability mechanism expires, and then they're left with no good reason to continue at all because they didn't develop a love for the thing, and they didn't develop their own version of a sustainable habit. So then 11 months of no yoga later, there are no lasting adaptations whatsoever. The flexibility is gone. There never was a robust habit, so there was no mental growth, and there's no love of the sport in and of itself. So if I want to try yoga, my dream would be to experience the benefits of yoga for as long as possible. So I would want to build a sustainable practice that I love and want to continue for the rest of my life, so that I can reap the benefits of that for the rest of my life. And sprinting from the starting line is seldom the best approach for most people. So for each dream that we have, which is out of our control, it's helpful to link it to one or more specific goals. Goals, and the way that I conceptualize them, are action-oriented. They're things that I can simply choose to do or not to do. Each step of them isn't really an achievement. They're process-focused. They're steps that, if all goes well, could lead me towards one of my dreams as an outcome. The goals are causal. The goals, if I implement them and I achieve them, should have effects which are in fact my dreams. My dreams are thus the desired outcome of my goals. Finally, and most importantly, goals are within my control as much as possible. I can just do them or not do them. Success in a goal is as simple as the choice to do or not to do. External factors cannot significantly influence them. Goals, unlike dreams, which are super motivating, are not necessarily motivating in themselves, at least at first. One of the most important parts of building effective habits is cultivating a deep belief that these goals are actually fun and that you love them and that you trust the process of them. So I like to choose goals which are as much in my control as possible. By doing this, we position ourselves with maximum leverage. We have the most power to enact change in our lives, to actually do the steps that need to be taken, which then lead to the greatest actual results. And it's a self-reinforcing process. Setting goals which you know you can reach if you just commit to them, and all you have to do is the work. Over time, this builds a huge amount of confidence in yourself. You plan things, you do your best to follow those plans, and then you reap the rewards. Your resume of past successes becomes irrefutable, and eventually you start to see the world as full of opportunities rather than full of problems. I know this sounds too good to be true, but it's true. The more I make very simple, completely arbitrary goals that lead me slowly closer and closer to my dreams, the more optimistic and happy I am. Who'da thunk? I don't know. I don't make the rules, guys. It just works, and I'd love for you to experience it as well. So why not give it a shot? So the first problem was that your dreams are not in your control, and the second problem is that you are not dreaming big enough. We want to make our dreams audacious. We want to raise the stakes by thinking longer term than we ever have before. Would completing one marathon change your life? Probably not. For like a short period of time, you'd be pretty fit. But when you look back on it 20 years later, not so much. Would dropping 25 pounds this year change my life? Would doing yoga for 30 years change my life? For all of these, there will only be short-term results unless you subsequently either maintain the habits that you built up here, or you consistently achieve and then set new goals that build upon the previous ones. Becoming a runner who loves to run 4 times a week forever will definitely change your life. Eating a whole foods diet and finding a passion for physical movement will definitely change your life. Doing yoga 2 times a week forever will absolutely change your life. So you make the dream longer term, more vivid, and even bigger than it was before, because it's not delusional to do so. In 5 years or a decade, every aspect of your life can look drastically different. People I meet in this life consistently underestimate that. Over the long term, you can take advantage of compound interest and the slow sustainability of consistent small actions in a specific direction. So then once we've made our dreams more audacious, we can then set a shorter term goal which merely exists to implement the habits or to complete the work that, if repeated over a decade, would take you to your most outrageous dreams. And then you just do them and iterate along the way. So we finally laid the groundwork for how to make a New Year's resolution that sticks. Now let's do it with concrete examples. Imagine the dream lifestyle change you want to see, but don't hold back. Make it big, make it audacious, the stuff of your wildest dreams. Not something impossible, but something that would represent a huge improvement upon your current circumstances. Something different enough to be deeply, deeply motivating, something that you crave. I think it's got to be positively reinforcing. What I mean by that is that your dream needs to benefit our lives in the biggest way possible. It needs to be a very high leverage change. There are sort of two ways we can think about that. Either my dream needs to substantially change how we spend our time, such as like a job or career change, or it needs to substantially change how we experience our time, such as a large physical or mental change. So there are many possible options that meet these criteria: meditation, joining a new club, moving to a new city or country, starting a new creative project, changing careers. All of these have potential transformative power, and they're not to be underestimated. But in my experience, there's one extremely low-hanging fruit, which is physical fucking fitness. I would say diet and sleep are similarly high leverage and high ROI. However, these are much tougher fields because of the culture that we live in. Your friends and family are not going to repeatedly pressure you not to go lift weights or not to go do cardio, are they? No, they're probably not. However, they are going to repeatedly pressure you to eat junk food, to eat out at restaurants, to have snacks, to hang out and drink alcohol past when your body wants to be sleeping. They are. You know they are. They obviously are. So while it's absolutely worthwhile to prioritize sleep and diet eventually, it's kind of hard to do when you don't have the rest of your life sorted out first. I would instead recommend starting with fitness. Start with fitness, which will give you ironclad, irrefutable, obvious proof that you can control your future, you can change the direction of your life, and you can achieve your goals, and then branch out into other trickier domains. So as an example, I'll share with you my actual personal long-term fitness dream. I dream of becoming the strongest, fittest version of myself in my 40s. I dream of training smarter, moving more, and improving my life so that I have the physical and mental energy, the physical capacity and durability, and just a relentless stoke to enjoy a life lived actively and to spend ample time playing outside. I'm 34 years old now, and I started taking fitness seriously like 5 years ago, and I finally had a breakthrough in terms of better goal setting and dream chasing in the last 2 years. This dream fires me up, and it does even more so now, 5 years in, than when I started dreaming it. Why? Because it's actually starting to materialize in front of my eyes. I'm manifesting that shit, and it feels fucking amazing. So that's my dream. You need to figure out yours. If you're willing, let us know in the comments below, because I think it could be really inspirational to hear what other people are dreaming about, what they're really craving deep down. So now that you have a clear, visceral dream to latch onto, we want to map it to one or more action-based goals. Again, these have to be completely in our control. So the resolution needs to be an action, a choice you can make, which we can follow through on regularly, and how well we follow through on that is how we measure success in that goal. So in other words, I'm describing building a habit. The goal is to acquire a habit in a durable sense. So for the marathon dream, a related goal could be to run 4 times a week, and then every time your legs filled up for it, increase the distance of your longest run by a few hundred meters. For the fat loss dream, the goal could be to weigh yourself every single day and to plan out your meals weekly. Another related goal could be to spend time each month learning about nutrition and swapping out one low nutrient density food item from your regular diet with a higher nutrient density food item. If you did these things for a year, I think you'd have a very good chance of losing a significant amount of weight in a way that's sustainable and that you slowly change your habits and your lifestyle. And by the end of the year, you're probably just a person who likes eating healthier food. For the 30-day yoga challenge dream, instead of committing to 30 consecutive days of practice, commit to 100 days of practice in the whole year. This would be a rate which is a bit more sustainable, allows for life to get in the way without failing, and leaves you at the end of the year with a desire to do more, not less. And for me, for my dream of being fitter and stronger in my 40s than I am now in my 30s, I had one simple goal. I committed to completing 100 workouts in a year. Now, this number might sound daunting to you, but it's really just 2 workouts a week with 2 weeks of vacation. And that's literally exactly what I did in 2023. And I made the best gains of my life. I've published a free program explaining the basics of my workout strategy during this time. It's called the 2-Hour Body because it takes less than 2 hours of work per week, and in it I explain the basic concepts to apply high-intensity training, a minimal effective dose style of training that's ideal for beginners and people wanting to start a new habit. The time commitment is extremely low, so it's pretty easy to fit into any sort of schedule. The whole focus is around making demonstrable progress every single session, which helps keep your motivation high and wanting to complete the next workout. And finally, it builds both strength and muscle, which are 2 goals that almost everyone has. The 2-Hour Body gives you 2 exact full body workouts that you can get to work on this week, and you can run it without any major changes for 3 or more months. Then, whenever you hit a plateau, you can swap out some exercises based on your personal dreams and goals, and then continue running a similar style program with similar principles, iterating over time for the rest of your life. I'm in my second year of running a high intensity program like this, and I'm making better gains than ever before, and I'm so stoked about it. So if that interests you, grab it today from the link in the description. If not, I still want to help you. Choose whatever dream speaks to you personally, and then try this method of making a stupidly simple goal of just acting in the direction of that dream, relentlessly but sustainably, and make 2025 the best year yet. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Let's get strong for life together.